right, welcome to Birdie Free Golf. This is formerly known as the Dub Sports Golf Podcast. Brady and I are doing some rebranding and doing things differently, and so we apologize for not having some content out for a couple weeks, but I promise we're coming out with some new content here pretty soon, starting today. And this is an interview, our first guest we've ever had on the show, and it's a special guest, and you guys are not going to want to miss what is about to take place. And so, Brady, would you tell the crowd a little bit about who we have on?
Yeah, I think we've set the bar high for ourselves. It's only downhill from here.
Definitely downhill from here.
But anyways, he is a dear friend of mine and now of Donovan's. He's a resident in Norfolk, Virginia. He played college ball at Mercer, St. John's River College, and finished his career at Mississippi State. He was drafted in the 13th round of the MLB draft. Everybody, please welcome the first baseman of the Texas Rangers, Nate Lowe. First baseman for the Texas Rangers, Nathaniel Lowe, is on.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, man?
Go ahead and call me Nate, because that's the whole debacle, and that's what everyone struggles with. So let's get that out of the way. Nathaniel is my.
You didn't want to go for like Nathaniel the Third.
Nathaniel the Third. One way or another, it's going to get cut down to Nate at some point. So let's just go ahead and roll with that and see where it goes.
Nice. All right. Well, Nate, where were you going to go, Donald?
I was about to say that you hit 40 home runs next season, and it's definitely going to be Nate. There is no Nathaniel after that.
That's what I'm showing up for.
I hear you.
What about you guys?
Well, Donovan, is there anything that you want to start with? I mean, we got a little outline here. I know Nate don't see it, but
I think ultimately, Nate, this is the first time we met. Obviously, I've heard a lot about you from Brady and Matt, and it's good to finally meet you. But just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you went to school, and you're obviously playing in the pros for the Texas Rangers, and so tell us how you got to that point.
For sure. Brady said it. I was born in Virginia. My dad was in the Navy. Then we moved to Atlanta, grew up in Atlanta, and started at Mercer University after I went to Pope High School. Transferred out and took a junior college year, played in Florida at St. John's River State, and then I finished my junior year at Mississippi State before I was picked by Tampa. And then was with Tampa from 2016 summer to December of 20, get traded over to Texas, and now here we are a year into the Rangers organization and looking forward to a strong second year.
That's awesome. So Mercer College, my uncle got his D-Min from Mercer, so Doctor of Ministry. Is that sure? So is Mercer is it a Christian school altogether, or did they just have a seminary too?
Yeah. Mercer, I mean, they have a Christian outline in there, and then a lot of your gen ed requirements are one of the Old Testament or New Testament classes. So I want to say it's a Baptist denominational school, but you obviously don't have to be a Baptist to go there. But yeah, it's a private school. It's a strong degree. They put together a really competitive baseball team, and it just unfortunately wasn't the right fit for me. And I learned from it. I'm thankful for that year, and I get a chance to transfer out and redo it all again after junior college.
Yeah, for sure. So your Mississippi State team, I know y'all had some good teams when you were there. Did y'all Did you win a national championship at Mississippi State?
That hurts. That hurts. We did not.
Okay.
We did not. We got. I want to say we were the first national seed in school history. So like the 1 through 6 or 1 through 8, whatever it is, are the national seeds that'll host the super regionals. So we hosted regional, won the regional, hosted supers, and a certain guy named Bobby Dahlbeck ended my college career by himself. And he's now, hanging out at first base for the Red Sox and had a great first season also. So, yeah, I can't forget that because he pitched the first game and dominated us. And then I want to say he turned around and hit a home run or two the next day. And they beat us as the home team at our own stadium because the sides flip-flop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that was that. Super regionals, and then I get shipped out to pro ball 4 days later.
Okay, I got you. Well, he got his last night, so Houston Astros obviously beat them. So
yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. I'm mixed about it. I really am.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't want to get into too much of this, but like as a fan of, we'll get into the golf, but as a fan of baseball, like I know that Kendall is pitching for the Astros, and so like there's that. But at the same time, it's like as a fan, I can't pull for the Astros. Is that across the board, like in professional level, or?
Yeah, yeah, but no.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know personally. Those guys get on first base, and they're always in a good mood when they play us. But I mean, if I get 3 hits in a game, I'd be in a pretty good mood when I show up to first base too.
For sure.
So that's what it feels like when you play them because their offense is just awesome.
Yeah.
But it's always in the back of your head, but you got to be where your feet are. Same thing in golf. You can't be worried about 3 holes prior. It's not like you can do anything about it. So
sure.
They haven't done anything to personally wrong me unless they've been stealing strikes or doing whatever they do against me, but that's just part of the game. So
yeah, absolutely.
I just don't want to go down there and hear world champion Houston Astros when we haven't won there in like 2 years.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I mean, hopefully the Braves can win tonight and take care of them next series. That'd be awesome. But
you know what it's like being an Atlanta fan.
You mentioned like the conversations at first base. I'm always curious at like how those go. I watch Freddie Freeman a lot, obviously, and he's like joking with the guys and talking like, what kind of conversations are you having?
Man, you name it, I've talked about it.
Okay.
I just, between talking about the hot dog stand or what the pregame spread was or where they're going to dinner that night or, who's walking through the concourse at the time or which umpire got something wrong. There's always something on the table because, the game's hard and getting first base in the big leagues is a feat.
Yeah.
It's a major league hit. It's a quality at bat for a walk or, it deserves to be recognized.
Sure. Absolutely. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
All right, Brady. I've asked all the baseball questions I can. Hey, look, there may be more for sure.
Look, I'm enjoying the baseball talk. I have like such a focused mindset, so it's hard for me to like keep up with 12 different sports. I know y'all do, but I'm like, I can't do it.
I don't.
So I try to, Donovan's like a fanatic. He'll watch baseball, basketball, golf, football. For some reason, he watches football. I have no idea. But, no, like I just kind of was like looking at some different things and like, obviously like there's some information about you on the internet, but I just was like, was there a moment like once you got to Mississippi State or even before then, was it like, I'm going pro?
No, right? I mean, I don't know. Like I thought out of junior college that I would have had a shot. But like I don't want to knock down junior college competition because, you see some great players in there. But after my success and after the way that things were lining up for me to go back to school, I thought, because I'm leveraging some offers against each other, maybe we could do that with a draft spot and maybe sneak into some money. But, the reality of it is you pick a 19-year-old junior college player, you don't have a leg to stand on, so the money's not going to be there. And you got to think about what's the cost of skipping out on a year of competition at the highest level in college baseball, which, I'm biased, but I think the SEC is the best at everything. Arguably some other sports, maybe not, but what's the value of that as opposed to the money that I get put in my pocket to potentially go sit on the bus and drive around Florida all summer with, 16-year-old Latin kids throwing 107. So, because that's what your first year is in pro ball. And people don't recognize that. They think it's all glitz and glam and you get this big check for a bonus and, you're rolling out the red carpet, but it's a learning experience for sure. And I think guys are better for going through it.
Absolutely. How long were you in the minor leagues?
I debuted in April of 2019. So I did short season in 16, low A and high A in 17. I had to repeat high A in 18. I went high A, double A, triple A. And then 19, I started in triple A, didn't make the team. Got activated in April. But, 3 years prior, sitting at Mississippi State, I struggled with the same thing that I actually struggle with this year. So I never really thought I'm going to be driving the ball and playing first base in the big leagues. It didn't process.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You want to, and you see it on TV and you see those guys. And when you're a 20-year-old pick and you show up to the complex, you see the 28, 30-year-old pros that have been there for 5, 6, 7 years. You go, those guys are big, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't think about it, but there's some shoulders and legs out there that are big. But that's what it takes,
Yeah,
So
for sure.
So when we were in Eleuthera, you were like just getting in the thick of it. Is that right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah.
I was just Donovan. Just to kind of transition into like a funny story. So I had never met Nate. I kind of like right when he showed up, he met us in Atlanta to fly over, and I hadn't really spoken to him outside of just being like, "What's up?" And we get to the Eleuthera airport, we fly in, and dude, I'm telling you, we're on like the most narrow, non-graded street you've ever seen, with 300 people just walking around, planes flying in over your head, and like taxis just essentially mobbing you, trying to get you to pay them to take you somewhere. And we're like loading up this school bus. So we're there on a mission trip, and we've got like a ton of supplies and all this stuff. And we load up the school bus, and we get going down the road probably about, I want to say 10 minutes, like close to 10 minutes. We probably gone a couple miles in the school bus. And then all of a sudden we pull over and everybody's like freaking out. We're like, what's going on? And here comes Nate rolling up in this taxi. He had got left. He went to the bathroom, and we just totally left his butt.
Took off without me, man. Left me stranded at an airport in a foreign country.
Yep.
Said,
I
hey,
was just
man,
like, well,
I could give you 20 American dollars to follow that bus, but that's about all I got.
Nate and Kendall are natural celebrities there.
All
the little Haitian kids run around and call them blue ticks and stuff, like it's because they got the little verified check mark on their Instagrams, like they're legit over there.
Man,
Nice.
if you have over 1,000 followers or a blue check, you are royalty down there. Royalty. It's so funny.
That's awesome.
Those kids are so genuine too. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's great. There was a lot of intense pickup basketball and mafia games at night. Yeah,
my knees are still sore from jumping all over that cement block.
Donovan, this concrete is like, it's like the most ragged concrete blacktop you've ever seen. And then like there's an occasional pothole in like every 10 feet. And so like, if you're not paying attention, you're either rolling an ankle or you're jumping onto a rusty grate to cut yourself with. So
you've seen Brady shoot a basketball though, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
These little
it doesn't matter.
kids,
The
they
potholes
don't.
Doesn't matter if he gets set. It's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin,
Thank you. But no.
Austin Neary will explain Brady that basically the things that you just wouldn't think that Brady would be athletic about or good at, those like finesse type things, like shooting a basketball, playing golf. Like,
yeah,
he's awesome.
I mean, look, I'm a hidden gem. I can do it all.
That's those pearls, man.
Okay.
That's those hands right there. Those pearls.
That's right. It's these Burger King hands, man. But anyways, man, like, I think it's cool, obviously, that you're on here, and we want to transition, like, kind of out of the baseball stuff, because, we primarily focus on golf, but
Sure.
there's no way that we could just bypass all that with you. But you're an avid golf fan, and that's what we love. That's why we wanted you on here, because I see, I follow you on Instagram and stuff, and I see you get to play like a ton of nice courses, and like even the other day you got to hang out with two dudes that we didn't even talk about. But
oh man,
like how is it like traveling and just being away from home and like developing a golf game? I mean, like, how much time do you get to do that?
Yeah, well, okay, so time is always there. There's always time to practice or do something. If you want to sit in your hotel room and look in the mirror and work on your move, like, you can do what you can do, but it's a matter of when it's 105 degrees in Dallas and the game's at 7 and you got to be fresh out there and you want to sleep in till 10 because you're up till 1:32 the night before, you just don't go out in the heat and practice. So, I mean, if you commit to it and get on a good sleep schedule, or you play when you travel, I mean, there's some really good players around the league, but you just got to have the desire to practice. And once it hits a point of your fight or flight at 7:05, the practice for me just goes out the window. And if I show up and hit the ball in the club face, I do. And if I hit it down the fairway, I do. And if I don't, I just can't be upset about it.
Yeah. So would you say like you're getting in around a week? You're getting like how does that work? Like how much are you playing?
Yeah, I would say on average, probably guaranteed once every 2 weeks. Once every 2 weeks, yeah. Off days are just about automatic. Half the team's out there on an off day. Starting pitchers, a lot of times they'll go play mornings when they don't pitch, just because, I mean, you got nothing to do. Oh my gosh. Sorry. You got nothing to do,
Yeah.
Because they got 4 days of rest in between their work appearances, and you got to throw a bullpen 3 days in. But, I mean, it's just a matter of where you are and who's got the connects and what's around. Because, there's nice golf courses everywhere, but not everybody's going to be able to get on all the time.
Yeah.
I think that was the thing. Like when like Brady was telling me that you played a lot of golf, I was shocked because I have a friend who I helped coach baseball with at the high school level who played in the minor league system with the Braves. He's 35, 36 now, so it's been a while. But he would say that he would go play golf with John Smoltz every once in a while, and which was, I mean, just blew my mind that was even a scenario. But he would say, like, as a pitcher, he would go play quite a bit, and so I'm like, okay, I get that. Pitchers are going to play golf, no big deal. But I mean, you're a first baseman, you depend on your bat. A lot of, like, growing up, they're saying you can't mix the two. How does that affect you at all?
That's crazy. I mean, it's the same. Obviously not the same, but it is the same. Golf is an escape from how hard Major League Baseball is. Because, you show up and you have a good year, you get out half the time.
Mm-hmm.
You're on base percentage above 400. You're still getting out 55, 60% of the time. So you got to find some way to deal with that failure. And I mean, you can go out there and be bad at golf and still have a good time doing it, as long as you're just a little bit better than the other idiot you're playing with. So,
right. Yeah, for sure.
It's I love it. I think that the same concepts apply. You can't be out there hacking as hard as you can. You got to be under control. You got to use your hips and your feet. Your hands got to be still. I mean, it's similar concepts. And if you catch a good morning out west or somewhere up north, you're out there in 60, 65 degree weather drinking a coffee before you get to go to a major league stadium that night. Mm. And that's about as good as it gets.
So is there a lot? I mean, like for you, we know you hit bombs. Like, is there stuff that translates, like, or is it just completely different as far as, I know you said, like, as far as the joints and the muscles and the limbs that you use are obviously the same, but like, are you doing things differently in golf than you would with baseball? Like, obviously swinging vertically and horizontally are completely different, but like, is there things that translate?
Yes, there are definitely things that translate and things that need to work together, because I sway off the golf ball, and when I slide to get back into it, it messes with my rotation. And when things are going bad for me at the dish, mechanically, I'll sway and then sway back into it and slide and then try and rotate. And when you try and rotate after you slide, you're late, right? So I'm really good at flipping my hands over and hitting that really low toe hook that runs about 80 yards behind me. It finishes at about 3 o'clock, about 300 miles an hour, 3 o'clock. But, yeah, I mean, if I get it right and get the turn correct, I feel like I can move it pretty well, but it's similar but different, but more similarities than people think.
Yeah. When we were in high school and stuff, we would have to go out and like play like softball and crap in gym class or whatever. And I would always like suck because I couldn't like register. I'm like trying to swing this way with a bat. I'm like, coach, give me one bounce before the plate. Like, I'll send this thing screaming knee high, like down towards people.
Drop it at my feet. I'll hammer it.
That's what I told him. I was like, just give me one bounce before it gets to me. Like I'm smoking that thing. But, yeah, like that's just interesting to me. Like you've sent me videos before and like we talked golf, but like, so what are you shooting now? Like, are you like, do you keep like legit score, like handicap and stuff? Or are you just kind of like, I'm out there like,
I need to register for a handicap so I can play in these games with these guys because I mean, I get home and I feel like I'm on a heater and I make the cut for the first 3 days. So if I shoot below 80, I'll guarantee go play the next day. And if I don't, I don't feel that great about it. So I made the cut 3 days in a row. I come home, I shoot 79, 75, 77. I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. And then I go to Orlando Country Club for the third one. And the first time there, I break 80. I'm like, wow, I'm on a heater. And then the next round I play was down at Lake Nona. And I mean, I don't think I could sniff 90. Like I'm scratching up on 100 by like the 15th. I'm like, all right, this game is mean. So I don't know. Some days it's there, and some days I have touch, and some days I feel like I should be putting right-handed instead of left-handed. But that's just how it goes.
So are you counting like total score, or is there like a cutoff? Like you doing like some limits? Or you just like, I'll make a 10, I'll make a 10.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take a triple max. I'll write down the little number in the corner if it's a big number. Yeah. But for the for the pace play purposes, like if it gets above a triple, I just pick the ball up and go.
Yeah, we kind of do a similar thing. I mean, like we're usually playing.
I play with some bad golfers, but bad slow golfers are the worst.
Oh yeah, totally agree. That's what I've always told Donovan. He's like, man, I'm playing so bad sometimes, and I'm like, dude, if you're gonna play bad, just play fast. Like that's all that matters. Like just get it done with.
Everybody's gonna play bad at some point, but bad and slow just is not it.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, you definitely need to get a handicap because I want to play with you, and we're gonna have to figure out a match. We're gonna have to get. I told Donovan, he was asking me like what you shot, and I was like, I honestly have no clue because I've never asked him, but I would assume like mid 70s to like low 80s. That's what I told him. I was like, he's breaking 80. There's that for sure.
In my head, I want to make 2 birdies a side. Every round, I want to make 2 birdies a side. Now, who's to say there's not 2 triples and a couple bogeys in between there? That's just the way it is. Yeah. But I want to score 2 birdies a side.
Me and Donovan went and played the other day, and I had 7 birdies.
Whew.
Shot 1 over. I had 2 birdies on the front side and 5 on the back side. Shot 1 over par. I was like, "Yeah, that's my golf game, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you get." So
that's how it goes, though.
Say what?
That's how it goes. That's the crazy part about golf. You get on that heater, that 4 or 5 hole like stretch.
Go ahead.
Throw it all away. 2-3 swings, you throw it all away.
Oh yeah,
yeah, quickly. That's usually 2 or 3 swings a hole for me. But
so with is there like a pretty big golf scene? Like, I mean, I know like the MLB obviously has a lot of guys that plays golf, but as far as your team and your organization goes, do you have like a good group that goes, or are you linking up with other people?
Yeah, it's some of both. Spring training's pretty fun because you get 15 teams relatively close to each other in Phoenix, and then Florida was a little more difficult. But when I was down in Tampa, Port Charlotte for spring training, I play with my buddy from the Twins a lot, and then now that I'm in Arizona and I got so many teams right there, I actually got around in. Kendall and I played Scottsdale, 2C Scottsdale.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think I let him off the hook. I'm pretty sure he beat me by 1, and then he wouldn't want to go play after that because he was 1-0. But, what are you going to do? Should have hit better shots. But, yeah, there's no real, we came down here and wanted to play a course in Sarasota with a couple of the pitchers from Tampa, and it just didn't work out. And, nobody's really opposed to playing with each other because you very rarely find guys that really have problems with each other. I mean, yeah, on the field, you kind of chirp here and there and talk some trash, but for the most part, I feel like the league is pretty friendly towards each other. And especially if you can run out there and make a little cash on the side, you're not afraid to play with anybody.
Yeah.
We had to let a pitcher go, and he got picked up by LA. And then a couple weeks later, they came back in town. We had an off day, so we golfed in the morning, went to the Eagles-Cowboys game that night, and he's playing for the Angels, not even playing for us. So it's pretty cool how it gets to work out. You get to play with a lot of different people.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. The whole trade situation, is just gnarly to me. Wow. I've obviously never been in it, but I was talking to Matt about Kendall when he got traded to Houston. He was literally there to play him, and then he was just yep, they told me just to walk across the field and go to the other locker room, and he's like, how do you even deal with that? But yeah, it's wild, man.
It's weird. But yeah, it's fun to get to go to different cities and know that you're going to see different people and play different styles of golf courses, and here and there you get out of some really nice clubs that I for sure didn't belong on, but it's cool to walk in there like you do.
Yeah. You pull your pro card out.
No, never.
You don't call them?
I try not to.
I would. I'm hey bro, I'm a first baseman at the Rangers. You think you can get me on?
I try not to, but a lot of the connects are set up ahead of time.
Yeah.
I mean, because the schedule's online, months in advance. I can tell you ideally where we're going to be every day next season and start calling country clubs now. And, it's
that's
pretty
awesome.
cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. As long as you tell them you got an idea of what you're doing on the golf course, or I feel like if you throw out a handicap, these clubs will be more apt to let you out there if you can tell them, I'm a 5 or 6 and I know what I'm doing, and I'm not going to come out here and drive a golf cart to the lake and drink 32 beers and be a riot, even though it would be fun.
It's a great time.
It doesn't sound bad, but I can imagine some superintendents be a little upset about that.
So I'm assuming that playing golf with, you talked about you and Kendall even playing, but even with guys that you're not as close with as Kendall, is the competition pretty high still? Are y'all trying to whoop up on each other, or is it just kind of whoever wins wins?
Yeah, no, but yeah. All right, so spring training, I went out there with Jordan Lyles, who's a pitcher, and Jimmy Herget, the guy who wound up getting in LA. Okay, so Lyles and Herget, myself, show up to the range, and we're playing an early morning round because we had a 2:00 stretch that day, night game. And they may have been off. And on the range, I'm seeing this guy. I'm like, looks like an athlete, but I don't know who it is. And it's Wade Miley. And then a couple weeks into the season, Wade Miley throws his no-hitter. I'm like, man, I'm so happy that I took money from him in spring training on the golf course. And then I'm watching him throw a no-hitter in wherever he was, Cincinnati or something. But, man, the competition level out there is pretty good because, you show up to the golf course and you figure out who he is and realize, his career's gone pretty well for a long time and he can afford it. So we might as well stick it to him and try and make some cash.
Yeah. No, I just was curious. Me and Donovan were talking about it the other night. I got my dog here getting in my face, but is like the nervousness and kind of the way you prepare for baseball. Is it similar to golf? Like, I know it's just a hobby, but like I just like trying to figure out, how do you simulate, for me and for golf, it's like you can go to the range and that's kind of like your simulation of what's going to happen on the course. But like, I don't know. Me and Donovan went to the range yesterday and I'm like, it's just not for me. Like, I'm like, I'd rather just take what I have to the course and just deal with it. So like, is it, obviously in baseball, like how do you simulate games with just a team? I mean, like, cause I'm not in the baseball world.
I'll tell you, first off, the most nervous I ever was over a golf shot was this summer, right? So we had some really great connects in Houston and get to play Blue Jack, and Blue Jack is incredible. And on the first tee, they announce you like you're teeing off the first tee at a PGA Tour tournament. Now on the tee, born in Norfolk, Virginia, first time guest at Blue Jack National, Nate Lowe, and all the rest of the groups, are behind you. And you got I think we had 4 tee times that day. I had 16 guys up there, like going nuts on the first tee. And I'm talking slam my first ball and it fades into the water. I'm like, well, I guess that's what we're working with today. But, I don't know. 'Cause golf is different from baseball for me as far as the prep and the nerves, because baseball, I've been doing it my whole life. And I know it's not that I don't need to practice. It's just that once you get into the rhythm and flow of a game, you know when you're going to have a good one, when the pitcher's moving right and the defense is working fast and you're seeing the ball well. But I've never broken par. I've never broken par for 18 holes. So I don't know what it takes to, get off to a hot start and keep the momentum rolling, or have a big par save and take that to the next tee box or something of the sort. So golf is definitely harder to get up for between practice and real play than baseball is for me. Okay. But, I, as much as I'd really like to get amped for a 4-ball at 110 on a Tuesday afternoon with a couple of guys, you strike out, you get upset. Of course, that's your job. But if I duck hook one off the tee and go out of bounds and drop another one and make a big number on a hole, so what? I don't get paid to do that.
No, yeah, for sure.
Your mindset is so much different than mine. Like, just I've even noticed in just the couple minutes we've been talking of you're setting like realistic goals for yourself, even on the golf course, to say 2 birdies per each 9. Yeah. And so I am like the biggest head case in golf that there is. Like, it's so bad. And so if I shoot in the 80s, it is a great day. Like I've done really well. But every hole I'm trying to make par, and then I get upset with myself when I don't, but I'm not even anywhere close to a scratch golfer. And so it's just, I don't know, the mentality is just so much different. Like it's crazy to me. So Brady gets on me all the time. He's like, you are such a head case. This year, I just switched back to hitting left-handed. So I'm naturally left-handed. I've been playing golf right-handed for a couple years. I go back and forth all the time.
This dude had a brand new set of Maverick clubs, Maverick irons, Maverick driver, 3-wood, everything was Callaway'd out.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I need a little bit more length, because he's Donovan. If you couldn't tell, he's 6'8".
Yeah.
Massive dude. And he's like, I need an inch extension on all my clubs. And so instead of just ripping the grips off and putting an inch extension on, he goes out and buys a $2,500 set of TaylorMades.
Awesome.
and TaylorMade's out. He's going to Walmart buying a TaylorMade hat. He's like, I'm in. I'm all TaylorMade. And he's hitting it the same, if not worse. And he's like, I'm going back left-handed. I'm like, I'm done with this crap. And so like he's like working on selling those clubs, and he's like looking at. He just got him a new driver and a 3-wood, and he's like, I think left-handed is the way to go, and I think it is for him. But like, it's just funny. He'll look at me like, "What am I doing?" I'm like, "Dude, like you're standing over the ball like a minute long. Like just freaking walk up to it and hit it, like, and then go to the next shot. Like that's all you got to do."
Yeah, my thought process is like everything that I'm like. I'm focusing on every single little thing that goes into the golf swing before I swing, and it's just it's a mess.
I've been through that before. I've been there. It's a deep, dark hole. And you feel like if you get it all in line, like how could the shot possibly go wrong, right?
Yep.
You're moving a square face to a circular ball. It's going to hit flush in the middle and go straight. But then you don't.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a journey over the last year for sure. But no, so what happened was I shot a 79. So it's the first time I've ever shot in the 70s with my Mavericks. So the first clubs that I had. And then I'm like, I shot 79. Like I need a player's iron. Like what am I doing with these cavity backs? You know,
right?
So,
of course.
And so I got new clubs, and then 2 weeks later, I'm like, I'm selling it all. Like I'm done. Like I'm going left-handed. I had a left-handed set like made for me several years ago, and I'm like, I'm going back left-handed. Forget it. And yesterday was good. Like it was the best range session I've ever had. I hit the ball better than I ever have with my irons, and then. Now the driver 3-wood I can't figure out, and I've got a lot of work to do on it. But it's I
played with a guy one time. Okay, so all right, at the alternate site last summer when we had our little practice situation when everybody's all like cooped up for COVID, all that craziness. We used to play really big games, and sometimes we'd have groups of 2 groups of 4. 4 might hang back, and it turn into a group of 6, and 6 might turn into 8. But we would go out there to this country club, and there was this guy that used to play out there that he would hit the ball right-handed, and then he had a left-handed wedge. He'd get to 100 yards. He'd turn around and play left-handed and putt left-handed inside of 100 yards. It was the most bizarre thing I'd ever seen, but I thought, you know what? I wonder how many years he spent telling himself, no, I'm a lefty. No, I'm a righty. No, I'm a lefty, because he's retired and in there for a long time. And how do you get that touch? So maybe you're ambidextrous, dude. Maybe you are.
I would say on a good day, if I'm playing well, like I could shoot 90 both like either hand.
That's impressive.
But it's it really
there's no way I could.
It really is
right?
it really is a curse though. Like it sounds cool to say, oh yeah, like I can shoot 90 both handed. Like that sounds cool, but it really is a curse. I putt right-handed still. Like I stayed right-handed on putting. My putting's much better on that side.
I got him worked out.
I've considered like driver 3-wood right-handed and then irons left-handed.
Okay.
But I just don't want to screw up anything that I'm doing on my left hand or my left side. I'm like, no, I'm just going to figure it out left-handed, and that's what I'm going with. So
there you go.
We'll see. It's a curse.
It's a combination. It's a personal combination. It's just up to you to figure it out.
Yeah.
I couldn't wipe my butt with my left hand, much less play golf. Like if we're just being honest, so you're ahead of me in something.
When I think I'm going bad, I'll try and I'll roll a putt in right-handed. Like every time I'm like, I just need to putt right-handed, I pick up a right-hand putter and drill it. But if I had to commit to, not drill it, make it sound like I'm draining bombs right-handed, but I'm not. But sometimes it's so bad that I feel like I hit a better putt right-handed. But if I were to go out there and commit to a right-handed putter, my feel would just be non-existent. I'd hit a 6-footer about 30 yards.
Yeah,
if I chip right-handed, it's over. Bad news.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, no, like that's for me. I think just the feel is better right-handed when it comes to the putter, and that's honestly the only reason I'm staying with it. So
plus, there's more selection too. You know, it's hard. Like it's hard to buy left-handed clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's got to be custom made, and you know, especially like with our size too. And I'd imagine you move it, so you got to find extra stiff shafts and all the right spin and XYZ. It's a pain to get them dialed in.
Yeah, I think that's the misconception because I swing like a 8-year-old child. So that we're working on that. Brady and I are working on the
Dude,
swing
his
speed,
swing is like, I watch him hit even when he was right-handed, but I'm like, he'll set up to the ball good. He'll pull it back good and he'll follow through good and make decent contact and the ball will go nowhere. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is like, there's something wrong with your club. And he's like, I don't know what the deal is. And I'll just have him like in a groove, just hitting shots sometimes. And it just doesn't go anywhere. I'm like, what is wrong with you? But like yesterday on the range, he was there hitting left-handed and finally he just got in a groove. He started nipping them and they were actually carrying the distance that I was happy with seeing him hit it. And I've never seen him hit it like that either. So I don't know if it was just like just a little change in grip or something, but
it's funny you say that. I just played. So one of the guys I train with here, his name's Austin Allen. He catches with the Oakland organization. He's kind of in and out of the big leagues this year. And he's not a golfer, but he's working on it, right? He likes hitting the golf ball far. And he said that he was just visualizing his shots and just getting over the ball and just trying to move it forward. Nothing crazy. And he hit the ball so pure the other day. I mean, I was so impressed. And he was carrying an 8-iron. I think he carried an 8-iron about 190 on one of his holes. Wow. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, that ball's sitting right next to the flag. And it was in orbit on the way down with like some stiff flex rocket blades from 2005. And
yeah,
I'm telling you, man, golf, when you just hit the ball in the middle of the club face,
it don't matter what you've got.
Right. It's going to go.
Yeah.
It's going to go. And
we had a guy the other day that
I hit it in the middle of the club face and hit it in the trees.
Say
you hit it in the center of the club face. It was just turned directly left.
Right, yeah. Sometimes the face is closed. Sometimes it's open.
Yeah. No, I get it. We had a guy, one of the pastors at our church went with us, and he's got like a super old set, like
McGregor irons,
antique, like some crazy stuff. And I think he's got like a Dunlop Ram driver or something like that, and outdrove me. And I hit it good. I mean, like, and I just kind of was like, that proves to you that you can do anything, like, with a golf club. Like, and he's not a good golfer. Like, he's shooting like high 90s into 100.
Right.
And dude outdrove me. And I was like, I have an M4, M5, like, and I hit the ball. I feel like I hit it pretty solid, but.
And you haven't jumped off that TaylorMade train yet.
No,
he won't either.
I
won't.
You. One of these days, yes, you will.
No.
Yes,
what do you expect
play?
me to go to, Nate? Like, what are you
Ping.
hitting? What are you on?
Hit ping.
No
Yes.
way.
Yes. You're going to hit
Oh,
ping.
my gosh.
Have you hit a ping driver?
Yes. It sounds like I'm hitting an aluminum baseball bat.
And it goes way further and spends way less than your TaylorMade driver. You just won't admit it. You just won't admit
Nate,
it.
you just need to come up here and we'll settle it.
I'm telling you, man. I'll come up there. Watch out now. Watch out. I might have figured something out yesterday.
I need yeah.
Brady, have you seen this man hit a baseball? Like, I mean, I'm expecting a 350 yard drive.
I'm not scared of him, bro.
I moved a couple out there yesterday. My ball speed's getting back to where it needs to be. I'm just relearning how to turn correctly through the golf ball. But
yeah,
I'll tell you a secret. I committed to the Bryson grips yesterday. They are yay big around.
How is that? You like them?
I haven't hit it yet. I got them put on yesterday, driving home past the store, and I went, you know what? Today is the day I commit to turning and take my wrists out of my golf swing. So I'm going to go out there. When we get off the phone, I'm going to go hit balls for a little bit and see how it goes. I thoroughly expect the first 10 to 12 to come off the hosel about knee high, heading directly left. But once I find the middle of the club face, I have a really good feeling about it.
Well, I mean, I think there's something to what he's doing, obviously. I mean, we can, like, I was even thinking about the transition. He competed in that long drive competition. It's like I would love to see more tournaments with like baseball players coming out to those events and like just seeing seeing how far they can hit it and keep it within the lines. But with his golf swing, and like he does a thing that I actually do, which is he rotates his shoulders out to where he can't pull it left.
Right.
And if he does, he knows exactly what he's done. So it's more like just a laid off swing, but the same length clubs and the way he even marks his golf ball to putt with. I mean, like there's a meticulous thing that he does with that. And it's like, he knows some stuff that I don't think everybody knows about, but yeah, I personally like just have small hands for my size. So like there's no way, like I'll have dudes that just have they'll go from the standard grip size to just a little higher. And I'm like, I feel like I'm holding a freaking
the barrel of a baseball bat.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
All right, so long drive. You brought it up a little while ago, and I'll bring it up. So I played my first round back with another group. I played with Maurice Allen and Tim Burke, and we're coming down 8, and I just kind of met up with them, scraped out a couple holes before I meet up with them. Wasn't really paying attention to my score, and it was going well. And we get to 8, and 8 at my golf club is like a 480-yard par 4. It's a dog leg left, and so these right-handers get on this tee box, and they see 100-yard wide downhill to the left, and basically just start drooling. And I see a fade, and I am not comfortable hitting a fade because it's liable to go 100 yards left, and it's also liable to get double cross 100 yards right. So they're like, all right, we can let it eat here. Maurice plays there a bunch. Tim's first time out there, and Maurice drop kicks this ball, right? There's two full divots behind and in front of the ball from his driver head, and he hits it. Oh my goodness. This golf ball goes 335 straight as a string on a drop kick. Tim's like, okay, so I can let one loose, and he cuts the corner, and the ball comes off like it's stupid. And I gave it everything I had, and I was 25 yards behind Maurice and about 60 behind Tim. I mean, it's just a different category.
Yeah,
because they're playing ball speeds. If they get it, I would imagine if they get it in the middle of the club face, they probably game a driver around 195, 205.
That's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
So are they kind of like simmering down from what they would in competition? Like obviously you see them like swinging out of their shoes, but like are they still going after it like that, or is that just their natural swing speed?
Yeah, they're both golfers. Like Tim played baseball, he played at Miami. Maurice was all kinds of athlete, ran track, played football, like did it all. And that's just what they do, They just move the golf club fast. You were 185, they pull a 9-iron pitching wedge. I'm like, well, I'm between an 8 and a 7. Like, what am I doing here? But it's a solid 2 clubs on me, and I feel like I'm a long player. But it's cool to see them play actual golf. There's a short game involved. They both make putts when they have to sometimes, and they both hit a wedge to where they need it to go. So it's pretty cool just to see them just play.
Yeah. I've always been kind of curious. Like the only guy that you really see like on YouTube and stuff, and that gets a lot of showtime is Kyle Berkshire, because he's with DeChambeau and with those. What is it? The good guys that he hangs out with all the time.
There you go. Yeah.
Like that's the only dude that I know of that I see a lot of, but I'm like, I've always been curious to how their game stacks up.
2 years ago, I was coming in from, I don't remember where I was. I was coming back into my neighborhood, right? And the neighborhood that I rent is where the golf course is, right? I'm at the front gate, and I pull in, and there's a car that was stuck next to me, like talking to the guard shack, trying to get in the gate. And I saw the hair in the front seat. I saw a Callaway hat, and I went, wait a second, or whatever kind of Volvic hat, whatever he was wearing at the time. I'm like, that looks a lot like that guy that hits a golf ball 7 miles. So I pull up to the clubhouse, and he gets out of the car with his dad or whoever he's with. I'm like, oh, that's Kyle Berkshire. Like, first off, he's bigger than you think. And he's an athlete. Like, he is muscular, right? So they had a couple guys down there, and I guess somebody from Golf Channel, I grab a cart, and there's 3 or 4 of them down on the range testing a new format for the long drive. It's like a time deal, and somebody from the Golf Channel, and the 4 of them do like a little miniature competition. And from the tee box they were hitting it on, never in my life would I think that I would ever be able to get the ball as far down there as they did. But where we're at, we have a 3 or 4 tier driving range up at the top, and then there's a members only side downhill on the other side. And to get it down there from the front tees, about 355, 360. So it's a bomb. Don't get me wrong, it's a bomb. But if the wind's blowing and you hit a good bounce, you're there, right? I think they were 1 or 2 boxes up from there, and this dude is flying it over the tee box, over the fence, halfway into the trees. And I'm going 385, 39, somewhere in there.
That's crazy.
Somewhere in there, and you see the golf ball come off, and you don't think it should hold its line like it does, and it just never comes down. Like, never, ever comes down. It's so cool. Watching those guys hit it that far is so cool.
Pros, Donovan's never been to like a professional tournament to even see like pros hit it. But like, even when they hit it, it comes off and it looks kind of knuckly. Like, it just kind of floats, and then all of a sudden it just keeps going and going and going, and it never comes down. But yeah, they're just different.
Here's another good one. So because Tim is tight with another guy out at Nona, I got to go play Nona twice in the last 2 weeks, and Lake Nona is incredible. It's the guest list out there and the people that live there are incredible. So I show up to the range. The second time I got to play it, Henrik and his coach are on the right. There's another couple girls out there that are on the tour. Ben On and Sean Foley are right there. Kiradek is pulling up in his cart. And all these guys are just another day at work. I didn't want to stare, but when you get around top, whatever they are, I bet they're all top 250, top 500 out of all 7 billion of us, you got to watch. And the ball, it's like they just place it up in the air and it just falls to the side, it comes down so soft, and it makes so much more sense than watching my ball go up in the air and hoping all right, is this one going to spin? Is this one going to stick? Is this one going to come back? Is this one going to run off the back of the green? And it seems like so much fun to be able to do that with a golf ball.
Yeah, it's crazy. I love Kiradek, dude. I love him. He's awesome. He'll go out there and just beat it around and then just be in top 10, just waiting to hit the cut. So
somehow makes the cut and makes a lot of money to finish in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, he's great.
That's the thing too. I've heard Kisner say it here and there. They hand out a lot of money to finish 15th, hand out a lot of money to finish 10th. Last I checked, if you're making that kind of money to play a game, and you get to the point where you realize, all right, maybe I'm not going to go 17 under, 15 under over these 4 days. It doesn't sound bad to shoot 3 under 2 days and two or 3 days, and maybe you scratch out an even par and wind up 15 to 20th because you get paid to play good golf.
Dead last in the Masters tournament this year got close to 20 grand.
That's fine.
Yeah,
for 2 days of work.
I've always said that, and they're like, no, you'd want the mindset to go out there and win and stuff. And I'm like, if I'm just a newbie coming into the PGA Tour, newbie to I've not won a major yet. If I've not won a major, my mindset would 110% be just make it to Sunday, dude. Make it to Sunday. I'm I'm just trying to make the cut. I'll shoot one over. I don't give a crap.
That's it. Because you break that down, you make $5,000 a day to play Augusta National. If somebody hands you a check for $5,000 and says, "Here, go shoot your 73 in front of the Masters crowd at the nicest venue in golf,"
absolutely,
not a bad life.
Well, and you have to have an idea being on tour anyway of like, if it's a weak field, maybe you're going to go out and win a tournament. But like if you're playing in a major tournament and you're not one of these top guys, you're not like, Kisner's not a very long hitter, off the tee box. Like, you have to be realistic with yourself, I think, to say, I'm not going to win, but let's go make the cut.
Right. And then who knows? Let's say you do fire a 65, 66 and get some momentum. And the next thing you know, you're playing with house money. You find yourself on the leaderboard. Then you can try and win it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you can't. I don't know. I don't know how those guys do it because I'd be trying to win the tournament with a birdie on one on Thursday.
Yeah.
And not say as soon as I don't make that birdie, I'm in trouble. But if I get to the point where that front nine, maybe I'm 1-2 over, not really moving it as well as I have to, it definitely got to wear on you because you got to play 3.5 more rounds of really, really, really good golf against the best golfers in the world, just to be in contention.
Yep.
Yeah, I was listening to like one of the Barstool Golf podcasts yesterday, and it was Kisner talking about winning the Wyndham Championship, and he was like, he was on 18. I think he was playing with Russell Henley, maybe, and like he finished putting or whatever, and was just kind of like looking at the leaderboard and was like, "Dude, I'm about to have to play 7 dudes in this playoff. Like seriously, I'm about to have to beat 7 guys." And then he got off the green, and they were like, "Okay, there's 6 of you in here or whatever." And he's like, 6. He's like, Russell's just right there. And we're like, Russell 3-putted. Like he 3-putted 18 to get out of the playoff. And he was just like, well, that's just one less dude I've got to beat. Like, and like, he just flipped that mind switch or that light switch in his head and was just like, that's just one less dude. And so I definitely love that mentality. He's a favorite of mine and Donovan's just being like, I can beat you. Like, I believe that Kisner goes out there regardless of what he says. And he's like, if I have a good day and I can knock some wedges close, I can beat anybody out here. It doesn't matter who they are.
100%.
I think they're all like that. I don't know if it was Spieth or if it was Rory or somebody was talking about, like even Keith Mitchell the other day. They were like, nobody even knows who Keith Mitchell is hardly. And he come out and dropped 9 birdies on me and was like right there tied for the lead for like 36 holes. And that's just golf. I'm not sure it's the same way with any other sport. I think there's sleepers that y'all have in your league that
absolutely
you would not know about them. And then they just come out and just freaking beat you.
There's especially with arms too. Like, there's so many guys that get no recognition because they're throwing in the 7th, 8th inning, and maybe not on a winning team, and just guys that kind of sneak in there. And then you walk back to the dugout after you're out and you go, that guy was nasty, but that's just how it goes. Because the 35th, number 35 to 75 on the 125, those are really, really good golfers, but you can't name half of them.
Yeah.
You just forget about them. And then they show up on the leaderboard one week. You go, oh, okay, that's nice. He had a good week. You don't think about it, but when they go home, they are the top dog at their country club. If they had to play member guest or member or club championships or anything of the sort, they're walking away with it because they played +7, +8 handicap golf. It's the talent level is just so different. So different.
Yeah. I was telling Donovan, like, just in doing this podcast and like just thinking of different people to come on. Like, I have a couple guys I know who are like maybe +2, +3 handicaps, +1, but are very capable of being +6, +7, +8s. And I know one guy right now, he's very capable of going out and shooting a par round, but he's just as capable of going out and shooting 8 or 9 under as he is that. And I've seen it done. And so it's just wild, like the level of athleticism and skill level. And those guys are weekend golfers. They're like, they'll just go out every other Saturday and are very capable of shooting a course record. Like, that's just their games. And it's ridiculous. Like, and I'm like, I feel like I play once a week, maybe more than that. Like, I think about it and watch videos and try to work on my golf game. And it's just ridiculous. I'm like, I don't know how I made those 7 birdies the other day, and I'm like thinking about it the whole round. And I'm like, I'm like, man, I've just made 4 birdies in a row.
I'm
about to shoot one over.
We ask you, please get me an even par, please.
Yeah.
Where am I at? We think about it, ask each other all the time. You know, if you had 5 years, you retire, you can't play another pitch in your life. You have 5 years and you want to go play on the tour. Like, could you do it? And everyone's like, oh, I mean, if I get enough lessons, I already hit a ball, blah, blah, blah. I can figure out how to make putts. I can get an instructor. I can practice. These kids are shooting 65 at 13. You know, like, it's nothing for them to go out and rip 4 or 5 under for a set of 9 holes because they've been walking 9 holes with their bag over their shoulders since they were 7, 8, 9 years old, right? And to think that we would have a chance as baseball players, like, don't get me wrong, you'd be better than the average Joe that steps out and swings a golf club, but to think that you can compete on that level is just otherworldly. You know? It's cool to see Smoltz play good golf and play with the older guys and all that other stuff, but he's not
no joke either.
Right.
Those old dudes ain't a joke either. Bernhardt go out there and lay it to you.
And shoot the most boring 67 for 4 days in a row and 5 more birdies today. 7 more birdies tomorrow. And just roll it 270 down the middle every time.
Beautiful. It's crazy.
Absolutely beautiful.
I don't see how those guys even stand to play anymore, though. It is because it is that boring. Like,
right?
I'm going to hit it down the middle every time.
Right.
I'm going to hit it close every time.
I mean, I guess I missed my target. I'm 10 yards right.
Oh, Ben Hard's over there rolling on me. He's anchoring still, rolling. He's sweeping on me in for 30 feet. Just like
tucked under his chin with a flashlight on it.
Yeah, they ought to investigate that a little bit more. He's definitely anchoring.
Well, I mean, between having Carlton run your commercials and Bernhard sticking that putter under his thing, I think the Champions Tour they're doing whatever they want.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing whatever they want and probably having a good time, too. I feel like those guys would definitely enjoy it. You know?
Have you ever been to a Champions Tour tournament?
I went to the LPGA Diamond Invite, whatever it is, that is down here at the Tranquilo Golf Club. And there were some LPGA players, a couple like celebrity players, and then senior tour guys, Champions Tour guys.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. They
crush it.
They throw it up in the air. The ball's coming down sitting down like butterfly, whatever that saying is. And it just sits. And it just, once it hits their trajectory, it just falls to the side. It's not like a big shot shape where they're muscling it up there, but it just makes so much sense how they just let the club work through the ball and the ball goes to their target.
Yeah. I've been a few times, Donovan, out your way to Rock Barn to watch their event that they put on there, like in Hickory.
Okay.
And it's incredible. Like, I've seen Davis Love III and like VJ even, and I was trying to think. There's a guy out there who,
VJ still hits it too.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Bernhard Longer, Peter Jacobson, or whatever. Like, all those dudes, would sweep us, dude. They're so good.
Oh, with their eyes closed,
they kill it too. It's like, because I've seen both sides. I mean, I've seen like Dustin Johnson and Rory and all them, and they're not hitting it like that, but like, they're smoking kids. I mean, there's guys out there that hit it as far as Kisner's.
100%.
Absolutely are smoking the ball. They hit their chips close. They're raking in putts from God knows where. Like, they're the guys that show up on Saturday morning to their clubs and they're taking everybody's money. Like,
100%.
Do sweeping.
If it's on the green with them, it's got a chance to go in.
Oh yeah.
Because like, you think about how many years they've been playing competitive golf. You make the tour. Let's say they make tour at 27, and you got to be how old to play on Champions Tour? 55, 60?
Yeah.
You've been playing tournament.
50? I think 50. It's 50, ain't it?
Yeah,
50.
Phil's playing now. So
you've been playing tournament golf at the highest level on earth for 25 years. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. What's another Saturday? Moving day, 4 shots back. All right, let's go shoot 6 under. Have fun. Have a good round.
I'm like, I'm just trying to shoot 6 over on this course.
On this side.
Just keep it in the 70s.
Keep it under 40,
break 80.
Keep it under 40.
Yeah, for real. Well, dude, I don't want to keep you all day.
No, it's all right.
But this has been awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on here.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We're definitely going to have to get you down here. We need to play some golf. It's not happened yet. It needs to happen.
I'd love to. I'm trying to set it up with Austin Government there. See you guys do some bass fishing. I want to see a right-handed and left-handed swing out of the same player in the same round. All right. So I'm not going to set the bar too high, but make sure we don't throw out all those right-handed clubs.
Yeah, I'll bring a couple with me.
I'll let him borrow some.
There we go.
I'll let him borrow some.
Like I said, I still feel comfortable driving the ball better right-handed right now than I do left. So it might be a good thing. But
there we go.
No, Nate, we appreciate it. It's nice to meet you, and we appreciate you being on. And yeah, it's been awesome. We've been working on some course vlog stuff, so we'd love to maybe shoot one of those when you're up.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Or I mean, I don't know. You guys come down here to the warmth. I'd love to take you out to the club and.
That might be a better option. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I need to catch a game. I said I wanted to come down. I was wanting to try to come down to Florida, and it just never happened.
Oh my gosh, we got to get you guys to Dallas. Dallas is a good spot. Getting trade over there was such a blessing, and I mean, man, there's good golf out there. The fans are great. Stadium's great. Team's not great yet, but we're working on it. So it's an event. And to mix some golf in, have you guys come out to a game, catch a day in my life during work, I think you guys would really enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's set it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Be awesome.
All right, boys.
All right, dude. Take it easy. Go hit some bombs.
I'm going to try my best.
Yeah, let me know how them grips work out. I'm curious.
I'll send you a video. You can pass it around.
Do it. Awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, man. See you, man.
No problem. See ya.